Let's welcome in the next group. We still got a couple more guys to go. Chuck Cavaleris back with us. Josh Ward is in here. And Bob Hodge. Thanks to all three of you. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, John.
Let's quickly put up the poll question. Some of you have already been voting online. I made it a binary question. Binary choice this week. You got two choices, and it looks like everybody's going negative so far. So get out your phone, positives, and click that QR code there. It's brought to you by Hearthside Bank, always within reach. Your question: can the Vols continue to win with a so-so offense and a dynamite defense? The answer's heck yes, greatness ahead, or no way, heartaches ahead. Right now, it looks like heartaches is leading and pretty big. So I want to see those little lines move. Tell us what you think. And if you don't want to do the smartphone thing and play along there, you can go to the website, sportsource.tv, hit polls, and take it from there. All right. This segment, we're going to start with the best player on the field. It's kind of becoming just I don't know that we've ever had such a rinse and repeat with this segment. But Bob Hodge, I'll start. Best player on the field for either team last night.
As a matter of fact, I was going to suggest, why don't we start with second best player?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
It's Brig Sampson.
Yeah.
And I said Brig instead of Dylan.
Yeah.
Because I know Brig Sampson. Anyway, it's Dylan Sampson because he is everything I did not think he could be before the season started. I did not think, I had my doubts that he could be a workhorse, that he could get all these carries, that he's going to go into the middle and just be pushing people back. And he looks like he's added a lot of strength. He's not lost any speed. So he was your best player on the field. I think last night somebody impressed me too was Cooper Mays. I was sitting there watching offensive line a little bit, and I thought he had a really, really good game. And oftentimes in pass protection, the guy that came his way, that was it. He was done. He made no more pressure on the quarterback. So I think you go Dylan Sampson, and I'll give a shout out to Cooper Mays.
Any other honorable mentions, guys, that needed a attaboy for their performance last night?
Well, I think you got to get one of the tight ends in there too, Kitzelman. I mean, that finally, how many of us have been yelling for the 12 personnel? Get the tight ends out there. Your receivers are struggling. Get the tight end. I think that really gave your offense a boost. So he had a real good game.
Six catches, 97 yards, a touchdown. He should have had a second touchdown, but it was he had a very good game. I'm not gonna knock him too much. Josh, anybody else you'd throw in there?
Well, if we're doing from an honorable mention standpoint, I think Nico deserves a mention because what Jimmy mentioned in the last segment, if balls are caught, his job is to deliver the football.
Yep.
It's not to catch it.
His is the hardest part of that equation.
Right. If they're caught, then he's putting up numbers that are outstanding, right? And that changes how we're discussing him. We've gone all offense, so choosing one defender is always difficult. Joshua Josephs goes after the quarterback and goes after the ball smartly at the same time. So I'll highlight Joshua Josephs, kind of choosing between him and Will Brooks because Brooks has another pick.
Well, that's where I was going to go. I was going to go Will Brooks, he's getting up there with Dylan Sampson. His name's getting mentioned on this show constantly. So congratulations to the
Carter.
walk-on.
Let's don't forget about him. You know, especially what he's been doing at middle linebacker.
All right. Josh, worst decision last night. It could be from either team.
Yeah, well, it felt like it was just a run of bad decisions in the first half, the way that game went. I have a difficult time choosing one. I thought clock management at the end of the first half was poorly executed. I don't really think that Tennessee scores there, but Tennessee kept itself from having a shot to get points at the end of the first half.
Yeah, they could have clocked the ball with about 10 or 11 seconds after the little dump-off pass. And instead, they ran another play. They get the first down, which stops the clock. And then it's almost like they thought they went out of bounds or something. It's like, well, the clock won't start until we snap it. It's like, no, they rolled it, and then you call for it. It doesn't come. Now, they could have been in Nico's ear at that point saying, they're just going to wind this thing and go. So that was an all-around drop, I thought.
It was an appropriate ending to that half, but still not good.
Anybody else have a bad decision? I got one.
I got one.
Go.
And I thought it was in the first half when you got fourth down, instead of kicking a field goal, Stoops goes for the first down. That's coaching against Tennessee in 2022. Oh, we've got to have points, field goals here. And I thought, I would kick the field goal right here because this offense has not been playing well in the first half. Would that field goal have changed the end game a little bit? And so it's kind of hard to ding a guy for something he did right there at the beginning of the ball game. But I thought he's coaching against 2022 and not the offense Tennessee has now.
It's good. The ones I had go back to Omar and Norman Lott. Brock Vanderbilt comes off on the sideline.
Yeah.
He is lucky he did not get it. It was a dumb penalty. He didn't get called for it, but he didn't catch him.
Yeah.
He hit him as he's coming into him. He extended and pushed, and that could have been flagged. And then at the end of the game, the play that would have ended it, Bob, we talked. You thought he pulled it off as he was tackling him.
Yeah.
He pulled it off after they were on the ground. It was like his hand was in there, and he finally just pulled it on out. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Omar Norman a lot. We've bragged on him on this show. But I thought he looked a little out of control last night. He looked a little fired up, a little too fired up.
And my biggest disappointment.
Well, that's where we're about to go. Biggest disappointment. Okay, go.
Obviously, the 3 missed field goals, right? And I think you got to look at all parts of that. I'm not sure the hold the ball is. When somebody hooks it that bad, a lot of times the laces aren't the way they're supposed to be. But missing 3 field goals, that's a disappointment. Settling to kick 3 field goals is a disappointment. So
You left 30 points on the field in the first half. Well, in that game, you had 3 drop touchdown passes in the game, and then you had the 3 missed field goals. Let me put up a graphic here about Gilbert. He was 12 of 12 from inside 50 yards.
Yeah.
I thought one of those Alabama kicks he missed was shy of 50, but apparently not. My memory doesn't work anymore. But 12 of 12 under 50 until last night. Then he missed the 3 last night. He is one of his last 6. Now, he did close out the Alabama game by hitting one, but you got to get this guy going. The reason you got to get him going is if you're going to have to win these kind of games where you're grinding it out with defense in close games, you got to get his confidence back. And Josh Heupel made it sound last night that he hadn't lost a bit of confidence in Max Gilbert, and I thought that was the proper way to handle it. But hopefully fans won't get too much on the walk-ons back this week and make the problem worse.
And it is a redshirt freshman and soccer player, really. And speaking of Josh, how about Josh Tuberville? How about maybe looking at him? Because I think he would have been better on the longer field
goal. As I was
goal.
saying, help his confidence or sit his ass.
If he's 1 of 6, his confidence is going to have to get better real quick. And I want somebody out there to knock it through the uprights.
You think Tuberville can?
Well, I'm going to give him a look. I really am. I think they need to.
Well, I think they did all off season, and
Yeah, well.
Gilbert won it. But there you go. Maybe you make the change
We
this
got time
week.
for one quick one.
Quick, very.
Tennessee's offense, they get in the red zone, and for some reason they slow down. They don't slow down by a little bit. They slow down by a lot. And I just don't understand what brings that on.
I'll give another credit inside the red zone. Kevin Simon was very happy on the touchdown that they hit to Kinselman. He was like, finally. If you get in the red zone, why is everything a drop back pass with Nico? Let him move him.
Yeah.
So that's another disappointment as they get down there, they slow it down, and it's always just a drop back pass as opposed to getting him on the run. All right. When we come back, Nico had his best day, but his own receivers kept it from being even better, as we've discussed. Let's talk about that more. Let's talk about quarterback, receivers, and issues. Come on back on the Sports Source.